Hey folks, David Hubbell here, and welcome back to my weekly update of Mirliton here in Mobile. It is Saturday, October 9th, and this is the third installment of the 2021 Fall Mirliton season. And I've got a dog in the background there. Wants to join the act, as long as he stays on his side of the fence. Anyway, you can see we still got some new growth, and it looks like, despite the damage of the cabbage looper, the plant is staying strong and trying to come back. So this is encouraging. I think the temperatures, even though they were in the 90s this past week here in Mobile, I believe that we're going to drop down into the back to the 60s. So if you do me a favor, if you've been following along and these videos have been instructive and helpful to you, please do me a favor and give them a like and subscribe to the channel if you find the information helpful. So last week we talked about my other nemesis, the squirrel, and this week we find we got a third friend, a challenge in the garden. I think these are a little type of beetle. It looks like a ladybug. They'll do a little damage, which I'll show you in a little bit. While they do, basically this kind of damage here, they don't really seem to be as aggressive or in the numbers that harm the vine like the cabbage looper was doing. So usually I really just kind of let them be and don't pay too much attention to them. You can see that these do a little bit of damage, but they don't seem to usually have as voracious an appetite as the cabbage loopers do. Now, if you remember all the clusters we saw last week, what we've got here is now an abundance of the male flower. So if you remember from previous videos, or last year's videos I should say, the male flower is just simply a little white flower with the pollen, yellow pollen there. So it's a pretty little cluster of flowers. And like most squash and cucubrids, if I said that correctly, you'll see the abundance of male flowers way beyond or before the females. So hopefully if you're following along, you'll be seeing these as well. Now, thanks to my Facebook memories, I see that in years past I've actually picked a few Mirliton at this time. So that's kind of strange, but as one on an outdoor show that I listened to, Don Dubuque's Outdoors, Saturday mornings, one of his field guides was reporting that a lot of activity out in the outdoors seemed to be a lot later, nature-wise. So I'm wondering if that probably translates the same with the plants. Things that they normally would expect to see 2 or 3 weeks ago have been delayed. And so I'm kind of using that theory right now too, that maybe whereas in the last 2 years I might have seen a couple of Mirliton or even female plants, or not plants, flowers, that maybe things have been delayed because of the excessive rain and heat. Now, one thing that is encouraging too, let's see if I can zoom in here, is you will see this is the bud of a female flower. Now it's hard to tell right now, but the difference there is it makes a tiny female fruit. We've got another one here. So next week I'm hoping to see more of those, and maybe the little fruit with a flower on the end. And if that's the case, maybe I can show you how to hand pollinate those. But I've been also noticing an abundance of bees out here. So that's encouraging too. So feeling much more optimistic than I was 2 weeks ago when I did the first episode here. Like I said, I will continue my spraying regiment to see if I can make sure the cabbage loopers don't come back, and I hope with this cooler temperature maybe I'll be past that issue. But anyway, that's what we got so far this week. As we survey the work or the damage the squirrels did last week, The one thing that's encouraging here is that we are seeing some new shoots and new growth. Of course, it could easily mean they could come back and get it, but I'm hoping with regard to having the sprinkler out, that'll dissuade them more than before, since I didn't have it turned in the right direction. So anyway, folks, that's the report for this week. If you found it helpful or interesting, please once again give it a like and a share to your other friends who are Mirliton aficionados. Also subscribe if you're interested to see more of, to be alerted in the future when I come up with other Mirliton videos, whether growing or cooking. Also, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below, or send them to me at rpcajun2r@gmail.com. And check out the other videos, like I said, I have here on David J. Hubbell YouTube channel. And also you can check me out on Mirliton Man and Mobile on Facebook. And also please check out the good work from Dr. Lance Hill with all the in-depth information at mirliton.org, mirliton.org. Thanks again, and I will see you next week.